Welcome to another edition of Jules Voto's Photo Focus. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Nikon's 24-200 f4.0-6.3 zoom lens, which I have owned now for 14 months. And I did several videos on this lens when I first got it, but I just want to give you a report now after 14 months of shooting with it. It's a great lens for travel photography. Going from 24 to 200 covers just about everything you're going to need, and I really like it for that. And since this lens was introduced, Nikon has come out with a 28 to 400, so it gives you even a greater range, a much greater range on the long end, but not quite as much on the wide end. And I only paid $600 for this lens refurbished. Normally it sells for $900 new. Currently Nikon has it on sale for $800, and they do that from time to time. You're going to find it for $800 a good part of the year, whereas the 28 to 400 sells for about $1,300. So if you really need the longer focal length, if you really need to get out to 400, obviously you may consider that lens, but I prefer having something a little wider, and I prefer having a 24 at the short end as opposed to a 28. Remember, if you're in a tight situation and you can't back up anymore, you're going to need something wider. You could always crop to bring your subject in closer. Okay, so if you have a 200, let's say you needed a 300, would have did a better job. Well, you could always crop later, especially with a 45 megapixel camera. And I shoot this lens mostly on my Nikon Z8. So after using it for 14 months, what is my opinion? It's basically the same as it was when I first got it and first started shooting with it. It does a really good job. Is it the sharpest lens in the world? No. Is it as good as my 70 to 200 2.8 Z mount at 200? No, of course not. It's not a good lens for available light photography, obviously. You know, having a aperture, a maximum aperture of 6.3 when you get to 200, but it's really great for outdoor photography, and like I said, especially for travel photography, that you have this whole range of focal lengths from 24 to 200, and it covers just about anything you're going to need. And with today's great high ISO cameras that get great low noise images at 3200 or 6400, it's rare that you're going to need something faster. Yes, a higher speed lens, a 2.8, if you're doing portrait, is going to isolate the subject from the background. So this really, I wouldn't recommend this for that type of work. But for general travel photography, it's just a really nice lens. Now we're going to look at some pictures in a few minutes, and I've read some things that some people have said about the autofocus on this. No, it is not as fast as the 70 to 200. You know, that is a professional lens, much more expensive. But I have shot this lens actually back in October of 2023 with some shooting some pelicans in flight, and we're going to look at a few of those pictures. I was shooting it at 200, wide open at 6.3, and this was with the Z8 before the dedicated bird mode for autofocus. So that was, like I said, it was back in October, and it performed great. I mean, I got a high percentage of in-focus images of birds in flight at 6.3 and 200 millimeters. Now, the pelicans are rather large birds. How well would it work with smaller birds? I'm not sure, but I found it to work out. I was very pleased, let's put it that way. I was very pleased with the outcome. So just a little bit more about this lens. It takes 67mm filters. It comes with a pedal lens shade that bayonets on, okay, and clicks in nicely. It is an internal focusing lens. So although the lens will extend as you zoom, it does not extend when you autofocus. There's only one control on the lens, and that is a lock to lock the lens at 24mm. However, I have found no creep with this lens. Some lenses, when you hold them like this, the lens will creep, it will move. Not so with this lens. Okay, it's a nice, firm zoom ring, and it works out great. It's rubberized. So I think, as I said before, pairing this with something like the 40mm f2 for travel, so using this for your outdoor work, having that 40mm f2 to shoot some available light stuff indoors, I think you're covered with a very lightweight, fairly inexpensive kit for travel photography. So let's go look at some pictures. Okay, so these are the pictures I spoke about from October of 2023 with the 24-200 at 200, shooting at 6.3 of some pelicans. And you can see these images are very sharp. Some cases these birds were flying directly at me, and the lens kept up. A good percentage of them, large percentage of them, are in focus. Now, these are larger birds and they don't fly real fast, but still, I was impressed with the percentage of in focus images that I got. So I wouldn't hesitate to use this for birds in flight. I'd like to try it with some smaller birds. So here we are this year now. This is at 24mm. And as I said, it's so nice to have a lens that covers everything. I mean, here I'm at 200. So I could go from 24 all the way to 200. Don't have to worry about changing lenses. And the image quality is very good. It's good enough for travel photography. If you're going to be selling these images for use on billboards, I would recommend, something else possibly. But these images are in Biloxi, Mississippi, and my previous video I shot with this same lens. I shot black and white. So here we are in color with this lens, and I was impressed with it in black and white. I thought it worked out fine. And of course, it works out fine in color as well. So I went from 24 to 200 and just about everything in between with these pictures. This one here is at 27mm. A few pictures back, I was at 24. For these yellow flowers, I was at 200. A lot of these were shot, in fact, most of these were shot at f11. It was a nice bright day. And, again, I think it does a really nice job. Here we are again at 200mm. And at 200mm, you could focus down to 2.3 feet from the focal plane. So it gets you pretty close. This shot here is at 73mm, again at f11. And on this next one here, I was at 89mm, and my focus was on the tree on the left. So as you can see, I mean, I'm all over the place in focal lengths. I keep changing it. Now these white flowers, I'm at 74mm at f8. And I like that you could zoom in and get the exact composition that you want. Now this house, I photographed before. This is in Biloxi at 77mm. Here I was at f8, and I think we have good sharpness across the frame. And I like to shoot a variety of vertical and horizontal, and I keep changing focal length. I don't keep it set to one focal length. I keep changing it. This was set at 63mm here at f8. And then coming up on this next image, I went to 44mm. So if I were using prime lenses, I would either, let's say a 50 in this case, I would probably have had to move back a little bit to get this composition. Or, sometimes you're moving forward, sometimes you're moving back with primes or with the zoom. It gives you a lot of versatility. And I really like that this lens goes to 24 as opposed to the newer lens, the 28 to 400. And here I was at 24. So I had nowhere else to go. I mean, I really couldn't have got this image. Not that it's a great image, but I needed it at 24 millimeters to get that shot. Here I'm back to 46 millimeters. Now this is a shot I also did in black and white. I like it better in color. Similar shot. On this one I did in black and white as well, but here I'm at 70 millimeters. So that versatility in a lightweight lens, and this lens only weighs 20 ounces or 570 grams. So, easy to pack, keeps your camera bag light, take it on a plane, no problem. And those tracks are at 120 millimeters. So here's another one now. I'm back to 200. So just keep zooming in and zooming out, and you get a variety of images. Now I have owned the super zoom before. I had the 18 to 200 DX zoom when I was shooting with a Nikon D300 and D90. And that lens was nice, but it really started to lose sharpness when I got much over 100 millimeters. Not so with this lens. It maintains its sharpness. Now here's a shot with the sun in the upper right, and really the contrast remains really good, and there's not a lot of flare. It handles backlit situations very well. Now here we are back where the pelicans hang out, and on this particular day, I didn't get many shots of. In fact, I don't think I got any shots of any pelicans in flight. They were kind of lazy on this day, and most of these were shot at 200 millimeters. This seagull was shot at 200 millimeters, and some of these I cropped in tighter, but it really does maintain its sharpness as you zoom. And like I said, I'm really pleased with the sharpness. You could see the detail in the pelican really holds up well, and I shot some of these in black and white in my previous video, and I was pleased with the black and white as well. Now this one was cropped a good bit. I was at 200 millimeters at f11, and it needed a good bit of cropping to really bring it in. This is a case where, having a 45 megapixel camera, you can do that. But that would probably be a case where the lens going from 28 to 400 would be better. So after 14 months, I'm still very happy with this lens. I think paired with the 40, as I said earlier, it's great for travel photography. I would not hesitate to recommend this lens to anyone looking to have a nice lightweight lens that gives you a lot of range for your travels. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I publish a new video every Monday morning and Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I always try to respond to all comments and all questions. So thank you.